Most of us Generation Xers have pretty good memories about Bob Barker. We would see him on The Price is Right when we were home from school in the summertime or when we were sick and couldn't go to school. Some of us who were Adam Sandler fans got a kick out of Bob Barker beating up Adam Sandler in his cameo appearance on Happy Gilmore. But behind the scenes at The Price is Right, there were no smiles or laughs when it came to how some of Bob Barker's beauties and his production staff were being treated. We'll count down his most scandalous lawsuits in my next old school gossip video, so subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can see that one. But today, let's talk about a Barker beauty who most of us know, Kathleen Bradley. You probably know her as Mrs. Parker from Friday. Kathleen Bradley is the fourth Black model to appear on The Price is Right, but the first ever permanent Black model to have a job as a Barker beauty. Many of you will remember her from her role in Friday as the fine as wine Mrs. Parker. On December 10, 1992, Kathleen Bradley and fellow Barker beauty Holly Hallstrom were both seriously injured during a showcase skit. The ladies were rolling out a 500-pound industrial stove on a rotating platform dolly. The members of the backstage crew apparently got ahead of themselves and began wheeling out another prize for that showcase skit. Well, that prize was a 1.5-ton sailboat, and the hull of that boat started pushing the stove forward. The platform dolly was supposed to have been hauled off stage, but no one had come to retrieve it. So the 500-pound stove began tipping over onto both Kathleen and Holly while they were trying to push it back to keep it from falling onto them, but it was just too heavy. Kathleen got stuck and couldn't move, but Holly was able to jump out of the way once a stagehand realized what was happening and finally came over to help the ladies. The 500-pound stove crashed when it hit the stage floor. Pieces of the stove went flying everywhere, striking both Kathleen and Holly in several parts of their bodies while they were laying backstage in excruciating pain. Luckily, for the show, at least, and the network, the studio audience didn't witness this terrible accident, and Bob Barker wasn't made aware of the accident until after the show taping when one of the producers told him. Shortly after Bob Barker was informed, an ambulance arrived. Then both of the ladies were rushed to the hospital. Both Kathleen and Holly suffered severe bruising and lacerations and were certainly too injured to return to work on the next day of taping. They would have to miss several days. Therefore, Diane Parkinson was the only regular Barker beauty in attendance for the next several tapings. And oh boy, have I got a story to tell you about her. Again, that will be on the very next video. But anyway, after only a week and a half, Kathleen and Holly returned to work, but were still very badly bruised in numerous places on their bodies. This accident justified a lawsuit against CBS for negligence, but CBS and The Price is Right offered Kathleen and Holly very small monetary compensations for their pain and suffering, and unfortunately, both ladies accepted. A little while after the incident, Holly stated in a radio interview that the accident was quite a scare, and she and Kathleen were both lucky to be alive. And she also believed that the Price is Right stage was messy and is jinxed. That was the lawsuit that could have happened but didn't. But here is the one that did. In late 2000, Kathleen was unjustifiably terminated from The Price is Right. Now, she wasn't the only one. Another Barker beauty, along with several other Price is Right staffers, were fired at the same time. But again, I'll tell you those details in the follow-up to this video, which will be a countdown of the most scandalous lawsuits filed against The Price is Right and Bob Barker himself. But oddly enough, one of those lawsuits that we'll talk about in that video, that is likely the reason why Kathleen was fired from The Price is Right. So we'll go into it just a little bit. So here's the deal. there was another Barker beauty, Holly Hallstrom, who was hastily dismissed from The Price is Right in 1995. Yes, Holly, the same one who was in the stove accident with Kathleen. So, she filed a wrongful termination lawsuit against Bob Barker. Kathleen was expected to testify against Holly Hallstrom in her wrongful termination suit, but she did not. The speculation was that her refusal to testify against ex-Barker's beauty, Holly Hallstrom, is what got her booted off of the show. Her last appearance aired on December 13, 2000, and there was no announcement that this would be her final appearance. After officially being on The Price is Right for 10 years, Kathleen Bradley was not given a proper, formal send-off by the show, which left a lot of her fans really angry. So Kathleen filed her own wrongful termination suit, but her case would never go to court. She ended the whole ordeal by settling out of court for an undisclosed amount of money. Kathleen later stated that her termination was abrupt and unexpected, and an event for which she was not prepared. Another Barker beauty who was fired at the same time and for the same reason as Kathleen Bradley also settled out of court, but that other Barker beauty settlement contained a hush clause that prohibited her from publicly speaking out against Bob Barker and her departure from The Price is Right. Now, again, we'll talk about that in the next video. Kathleen Bradley's lawsuit, however, did not contain a hush clause, so she has been vocal about her time on The Price is Right and has written about her time there in her book called Backstage at The Price is Right, Memoirs of a Barker Beauty. If you want to get some The Price is Right behind-the-scenes juice, her book is probably the best place for you to look. Well, everyone, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ty Said What Ty Said channel. Please leave a thumbs up and comment so that we can get a discussion going. And share this video on all of your social media, especially your Facebook. That really helps me out a lot. And subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when my next video is ready for you. And if you don't like what I'm saying but you love it, feel free to hit that applaud button just below your video screen there and send me some
donations.
Yeah, baby. See you on the next video.